Hi guys, I'm late. I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm late. I'm sorry. My daughter told me to wait till she got down here. She ain't in it yet. Hello, Forgotten Whispers. Hey, Carrie, my love. How are you? Hey, Peas. I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm sorry, I'm not late. I've been sitting. Evil Ghost, what you doing? This is going to be an interesting. I'm going to, I like to brag on the notes that I have. Don't get excited. Hold on. But don't get excited, but maybe get a little excited. I did so much work on this project here. I read 402. Hey, Squids. I read Brenda, how you doing? Hey, Hush. This book, 402 pages of finely typed. I mean, it ain't a huge thing. So in my brain, there's a whole lot. Hey, Freeside, my love. You can just, girl, take care of it, Carrie. There's so much in this brain, hey, outshine, that is important, but not really. Does that make any sense? Yeah, that makes sense to me. And when we get into it, I'll tell y'all where all this, if you want to read an absolutely complete account of everything that's ever happened in Villisca, Iowa, that's not true. If you ever want to read a complete account of this case and why it wasn't solved, and then this is the book. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Wildflower. I did, Carrie. There's actually on in the span of these murders, I want to say it's over 3 or 4 years. There were 30 people, 30 family members murdered with axes along the what is it? Southern Pacific Railroad that went through Iowa, down through wherever the hell up to Colorado and out to Washington. There's another book called The Man on the Train, who that describes a serial killer from Germany, Paul Muller, how he was possibly the actual murderer here in Villisca. So I thought if I read that book, I'll do like a update, an update on this. I don't want to read about no more murders for a minute. I mean, here we go. I wait. I tried to wait. Come on.
I lost track of time.
I'm sorry. Hey, Laura Lee. So, hey, watch her. So, watch her. Oh, you got it? Now, what I don't have prepared are a lot of photographs, but I have a lot of Google photographs, which are just, I've got an actual video that Catherine made me watch these people.
Sam and Colby,
who do these like haunted things. I hated Sam and Colby.
No, you did not. You didn't hate them the first time, but then you started picking on them the second time. You didn't hate the Villisca. You hated the Winchester house.
Anyway, what we're gonna do is because I wanted to show everyone. Hey, verbal abuse. Hey, Levitti, I could show y'all. I have a diagram of the house. It doesn't really do it justice unless you're in there and you can see how small this house is. It's so small. And when you go upstairs, you think you have 2 different bedrooms. You gonna take it in the shower? All right, baby. You think you have 2 separate bedrooms. And if you did, they would still be really small. But when I show you, you're going to be like, hey, Clancy, you're not going to be able to put this into, it doesn't make any sense. And then I'm going to actually read y'all one of the confessions. I was going to write it down. I'm like, I ain't writing this down. Hold on.
I'm waiting
for Hold on.
You're playing your own?
I know. I'm playing my own video. I'm going to put the link out Because Carrie wanted it, and Carrie, you are. I don't care if you have a cold, get a pair.
God.
Because I know we have a lot of people that have really been interested in this for a long time, and so because I'm going to forget something. There's so much to remember. I'm going to forget it. Hold on, let's get the link.
Did you tell him about the thumbnail?
Oh, my daughter made the thumbnail for me.
It's so beautiful, isn't it?
It was beautiful. Stop doing that.
Sorry.
All right. It's okay. Just don't do that. Just stop it. All right. Come on, Shannon. Thank y'all. Invite guests. Copy the link. Hold on. This is the way I have to send out links. I'm sorry. You don't like it? Call StreamYards. Hold on. Everybody have a good weekend. I hope so.
No.
I hope so. We have big shit. Big brother news, but I won't cover that now. Because this is not the Big Brother stream. Really? What's the big brother news? God, cat.
Nope.
I don't know what you're doing over there, but stop it. You're making noises, and I don't like noises. All right, here we go. If Ahmad could keep this and run it through, I'd be happy because, all right.
Ew, it's peppermint.
Buckle up, bitches. That's cute, wasn't it?
You were so cute, Mom.
Thanks. Is everyone ready? That's everyone. Hold on, let me have a little sip of my. It's plumper. I'm gonna decorate Wildflower Baby. I'm gonna this is my Halloween skull. It's supposed to be a picture I'm using as a cup. Shelby Lynn, hey.
Are you gonna watch House of Villains?
Why not? Sure.
What's House of Villains?
I don't know what it is, but I'll watch it. Oh, look at what he is. It's Carrie. Hey, stop.
Okay, I'm trying out my hearing aids. Can you hear me?
I
like
can hear you fine.
Oh, good.
Carrie lives in Iowa.
I do.
And that makes her an expert.
Yeah, not really.
It does. It does for me.
I know a lot about it.
Yeah,
Yes,
good. Because
I
I know I'm going to forget something. But, so, all right, Villisca, Iowa.
Uh-huh.
It was a, can you, wait a minute, you might have to turn me down.
Oh, wait, you hear yourself probably.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear me.
There, is that better?
Okay. Let me see. Yep, that's great.
That was a computer.
Well, no,
okay.
I'm still here a little bit, but it'll be all right.
Okay.
Okay, so, it was a small town, farm town, blah, and then it grew. I mean, I could tell you why, but I ain't gonna tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
It grew and it grew and it grew and it grew. All right, I can still hear myself really loud now.
You sure?
I can hear. Yeah, that's me.
There. I turned my phone down. Is that better?
Let me see. Oh yeah. Well, I can still hear it though.
Here, I'll just turn off the computer and use my phone.
There's a go. Well, I'm sorry.
There we go. I'll just go in the other room.
All right. All right. Well, I don't hear me now. Okay.
There.
So, as the town grew, so did their needs. So you had a lot of stores, farm implements, John Deere, all these.
Uh-huh.
FF Moore, he was kind of the big
Corn.
league.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, you have cornfields.
Yeah, corn. FF Jones was a senator and a business owner in Villisca. Josiah Moore, Joe Moore, worked for him, and then John Deere was. I can still hear it really loud, Carrie. It's really loud.
Really? Maybe
No,
I can. Maybe I got to turn off the computer right here. I'll put myself on pause for a minute.
Thank you, Forgotten Whispers. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good.
Okay. So, all right. So Joe Morse, bought the John Dealer dealership, and he moved his store right across the street from his old boss, FF Jones. Big deal, right? Nobody cares. So, but I'll just tell you the story. So this starts out on a Sunday in Iowa on June 9th, 1912. Joe Moore got up. He fed his horses. He milked his cows. They did the chickens. I tried to get a map that kind of mapped it out the way it was then, and I couldn't find one. So, but the house has got a barn behind it, and I'm pretty sure that's the barn, that all of his animals were in, as I didn't know. So Joe was married to Sarah, 40. They had Herman, who was 11, Catherine, who was 9, Boyd, who was 7, and Paul, who was 5. So it was a pretty big family.
And don't forget about the girl who stayed overnight.
Well, yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm going through the day.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. We're getting there. So they were big in the Presbyterian church. So they went to church that morning. There was a big children's pageant that was going to be that night. What are you doing?
You're off center.
Anyway.
Just ignore me.
You're killing me right now. Sarah was in charge of the little children's pageant, but that wasn't until 8:00 tonight. So Lena and Ina Stillinger lived about 2 miles away from church that morning, and they were going to church. Their father waved goodbye to them. They were in their little white dresses with little red ribbons, and their plan was to go to church, go to their grandmother's, eat dinner, go back to the church to be in the pageant, and then go back to stay with their grandmother. But when everybody got to church that morning, the kids saw each other and, why don't y'all can spend the night with us? And little Catherine wanted her friends to spend the night with her. So they had a good day. They went back at 8. It started promptly. And this is so sad. Oh no.
Wait till you look up the other Iowa story I told you about.
Yeah, I was looking. It was such just a regular little day, and they had the pageant. Now at the pageant was their pastor, which is Reverend Ewing, and with him he had a reverend named Lynn Kelly. And Lynn Kelly had been called in from a couple towns over to fill in for some ministers. And that night in the church, Reverend Kelly sat in the very back, watched it. Everybody watched it. He was staying with Pastor Ewing and his wife. So after the little thing, everybody said goodbye. The pastor, Reverend Kelly, and the pastor's wife went across the street to the vicarage, and the Pastor Ewing and his wife, for some reason, slept in a tent in the yard because of her allergies, I think. And so they showed Reverend Kelly up to his room. Hey, General Awareness. Hey, Squirrel Gang. I'm sorry. They showed him up to his bed. It was 10:00 at night. The Moores and the Stillingers got down to their house, and by all accounts, at 10:00, their door was shut, and everybody was in the bed. Hey, Liza. And that's just when all hell broke loose. I mean, just all hell broke loose. Joe did call the Stillingers' father because they had electric street lights, but the electricity company and the city fought each other. So to get back at the town, they cut the street lights off at night. The little girls didn't want to walk to their grandmother's house in the pitch black dark. So, they said, absolutely stay. Thank you so much. And that was that. So then we come to the next morning. And beside them lived a lady, Mrs. Peckham. And Mrs. Peckham woke up that morning at her regular time of 4 a.m. on that Monday morning. And she went to do her laundry. She drew her water. She started a fire in her house to heat the water. Why are you hitting the back
I
of
am
the thing?
sorry. I'm not
Hey,
hitting
Voodoo.
anything.
Sorry. So at 4 o'clock, she gets up. At 5 o'clock, the Moores are not up. She's their next door neighbor. She's like, that is just weird because they are really early risers. Hey, Earth. And they have a lot to do. They've got, Joe milks the cows. The kids feed and water the horses. They turn the chickens out. Then Joe goes down to his John dealer, thing. So she looked over and she says, really weird because they are not up. And then at 5 o'clock, there was no movement in that house. And she thought, this is really weird. You know how I got neighbors. I probably am that neighbor. But it don't matter. Let me get right back. Let me get up here. So Mary Peckham was worried. She, at 5 o'clock, she said, okay, this is really, really not right. All of them should be up. So she did her work for the next 2 to 3 hours. So that's like 5, 6, 7. All right, then she starts to panic. So she goes over to the kitchen door, knocks on it, nothing. The blinds hadn't been pulled up. The curtains were drawn. She went around to the front door and it was locked. Weird that it was locked, but it was locked. So then she thought, okay, well, they couldn't have all of them couldn't have overslept. She didn't know the Sillinger girls were there. So around 7 or 8, she called Ross, who was Joe Moore's brother. He ran the pharmacy in town. And all these were, you could walk to town from their house. This was not like down the country. It was, so he called over to Joe's business, and that guy, Ed Silly, said, well, no, I've been waiting to leave, but he hasn't shown up yet. And so Ross goes down there at around 8. I want to say it's around 8. He knocks on the windows, can't see in, tries the doors, reaches in his pocket, and he's got a ring of keys. And he tries them, and he's got one that fit. And he turned that key, and it was all horrible. And I'm going to lay this out for you right now. So let me share. He walks into the house. He first notices how neat and tidy it is. So, all right. This is the bottom. Tell me, do you have the bottom yet over there?
It's just behind, like, from you to the live stream. It's
okay. Well, sometimes you can't see it.
This isn't, okay.
And can you see it well? Not really. Yeah. All right.
You can zoom in.
So we have the front porch right here. I got my cursor on it right now.
You do.
You walk into the parlor over here. All right. This is the bottom. Don't even pay attention to the children's room, master bed. Don't pay attention to that. This is just the bottom. Then you go through and you have your kitchen. You got your porch, back porch. Here's your pantry. Here's your stairs. And there's the sewing room. The sewing room is the bedroom that those children were in. Catherine, she had all brothers. So Catherine, being 9 years old, kind of started taking over that bottom bedroom because she's the only girl, and that was fun. So he walks all the way back there, Ross does, and he knows something is not right. He pushes the door open, and he sees, I'll read you exactly. He noticed the only sound. Oh, he said the only sound in the house was for his own footsteps. You can tell when I get down to the murders because I start to do it in red over here. It's so tacky. Anyway, so he was not prepared. What?
Cherry said that she's going to wait. And
Carrie?
listen.
All right, Carrie. I'm sorry, baby.
So she doesn't overtalk.
All right. So in here, Ross sees he sees the bed, but the curtains are drawn, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. It was June. But he sees the outline of two figures in that bed. Dark. The blankets were pulled all the way up. He saw the dark red stains over here up on the top of the bed and an arm hanging out.
Mm.
I know. He backs out. He backs out and he gets to the porch and he tells Mary Peckham to go call Marshall Horton. Marshall, he was a marshal. He was an actual marshal. However, let me explain to y'all this. Back in 1912, they didn't have policemen. They didn't have detectives. They didn't have all of that. If they didn't, Mr. Horton, the marshal, was a marshal. But the only thing he ever really did was pick up drunks and run vagrants out of town. He had no law enforcement experience whatsoever. Nobody in that town had it. Pretty much nobody in that state had it, and you'll find out. So, again, all the things are drawn. There's cloth over the mirrors. Nothing is making sense. He sits outside and he waits for Mr. Horton. Mr. Horton brings in Ed Sully, if y'all remember, worked for Joe Moore. And Sully went in and walked into that room and walked back out. He couldn't. Marshall Horton lit a match, went in there to see what he could see. He could tell this was bad. He then went over to the stairs, and if y'all will see, there's the stairs right there. And I'm going to, for 1 second. Hold on, am I still on them?
Mom, it's fine. Yeah, just keep going.
Is this kids? Is this Sam and Dummy? It isn't.
Mom, it's gonna be like, it's already behind because it's on a live stream, okay?
All right, no,
So
I just want to. I want people to see.
When you switch over, it is not. Except if you picked one tab. I can see that.
Are you looking at Sam right now?
When you screen share, did you say this entire screen or this tab?
I said, I don't know what I said.
Okay.
I'm going to do it again, or I'm going to present again.
Yes. Hi, guys.
Sorry, guys. One day when I learn to do this,
You're
look
not.
the fuck out, people. It's going to be exciting.
Okay,
No, I need them to see.
Okay.
All right.
That is not Sam.
Well, whatever one this is. I just want to show y'all this for a couple of reasons.
This ain't no one.
9:45. What is 9?
Oh, it is Sam. Hi, boo-boo.
They can see this, right?
Yes, Mom.
All right. I wrote these down a long time ago. I don't even know that I got here.
This is why I told you to just go to a tour and not a 49-minute video.
I know. 43:38. All right. This is the master bedroom, what you're seeing right now.
This is not the master bedroom.
That is the master bedroom.
With the children's beds?
No, this was the Moors. This is where
it's behind. I'm sorry.
This is where Joe and Sarah slept. Sarah slept against the wall, Joe over here. You're seeing that this is not the original furniture. It is the guy who owns it now put in replicas or whatever. But you see here the mirror that's covered. And I want to show y'all getting up to this room and how.
Make sure it's muted.
I am making sure it's muted.
Hit M.
Eh?
Hit M on your keyboard. When you're over.
All right, so these turds. Look at these turds.
Hit M on your keyboard.
M?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
I hit it on the other one. Why am I hitting M?
The mute it. Okay. Wait, stop.
What about...
I'm muting it for you, Mom.
where they walked up? Hold on, guys. I just need y'all. All right, so anyway, let's fuck this. You walk up these stairs, yo. You walk up these stairs.
It's gonna be in the beginning.
All right, you walk up the stairs, and it's nothing but railings to that first bedroom. There's not a wall there. There's nothing. It's open. All right. What?
While you talk, I'm gonna look for it for you.
Okay. So somebody that sneaked up on them, I don't see it, but whatever, it doesn't matter to me. It's a small house. It's creaky as shit.
Is it right here? This one?
Anyway. So all right, he hit them all in the head. He went over here to the children's bedroom. There were 4 children in that bedroom. All the more children were in the children's bedroom. He went in there. He hit him in the head with the blunt part of the axe. And I say he because it's going to be a he. I don't, ain't no woman. Hit him with the blunt part of the axe. He went downstairs. He got the 2 Stillinger girls. Then they know for a fact that he went back up the stairs because Sarah Moore's shoes were sitting on the side of the bed. And there was blood in the shoes, right? When she'd taken them off when she got to bed. There were blood in the shoes. He came back up those steps and he kicked those shoes. The shoes fell over and then blood fell. So they know he went back. He just kind of went around. Each person was hit 20 to 30 times with an axe. The blunt part of the axe. So I think they said that one time Joe they might have accidentally hit Joe with the sharp part. I'm not gonna expand upon the injuries. Just know none of them were hit below the neck. Well, I'll tell you one horrible thing. The only thing that Joe Moore got the worst of it from anybody. But Joe Moore, the only thing that was left on his head was his bottom jaw. That's anger.
You really expanded on it.
I did expand on it, but I'm not going to get... The rest of them didn't fare much better. They said you could identify Sarah. She had a big cut, but you could identify who she was. The children could not identify any of them.
Squirrel Gang knows who Seth is.
Oh, really?
The red hoodie is related to Lizzie Borden.
Bludgeon the Head's voodoo, so you just don't even know.
But yeah, he is like he's a
right
distant cousin.
He is. You're right. Squirrel Gang. Hey.
How would you say what you said about Seth? She was good.
I don't even know who Seth is. Who you fucking talking about?
The red hoodie mom, Seth Borden.
Oh yeah.
She hates him, by the way.
I will say this, that Marshall Horton was not in Rain Girl was not in any way, shape, or form ready to be where he was. Nobody in that town was. The only way, hold on, I gotta put this over here when I'm done. There were, I don't want to have to get really graphic, but it matters. There were, if you think about being hit in the head with an axe 20 to 30 times, children, adult, whatever, there is a lot of matter everywhere, okay? There's a lot of brain matter. There's a lot of bone. There's hair. There's flesh. And these rooms were absolutely covered in them. Y'all have heard about the very famous divot in the wall. In like a cool way. Right, Harry. A divot in the wall above the parents' bed. I'm going to show y'all that in a little while to show y'all. That's a pretty high divot in the air. And it was from the back, the swinging the axe back. So, but we'll just do that. We'll just say that. So this all transpired from the time that Mary called Ross. Ross got there. Ross said, call Horton. Horton got back there. He brought a doctor with him. This was all happened in a span of about 35 to 45 minutes. Back then, you had operators that made your calls for you. You picked up the phone saying, let me speak to Joe Moore. Okay. They knew who you were. You knew who they were. They were hearing all this chatter, right? They were hearing all this, something big is going on. In this time frame, Miss Stillinger called the Joe Moore home to ask when her girls were going to come home. There was no answer. She thought it was weird. She called back a little while later. Can you imagine what I'm about to tell you? She called back. She said, can I have the, Joe Moore home? The operator said, everybody in that house is dead. That's how she found out. An operator said, everybody in that house is dead. Now, did that operator know it was the mother of two girls? I don't even know if the operator knew I don't know what she knew. But that's how she found out. Moore's family came. There's Dr. Ho. Reverend Ewing arrived. Frank Moore arrived. They said, y'all need to, he was a big guy in town. He showed up. It was a mess. It continued to be a mess throughout the day. Now, we're just talking about what we know about. 20 people were in that house within an hour. With the family, the people down the street, every doctor in town, every reverend in town for some reason showed up. And they were taking a tour of that house. So when Horton had to go back and actually investigate the house, there were some odd things that he saw. There was a oil lamp at the base of the bed of the Stillinger girls. If y'all have seen, I know everybody's seen an oil lamp. The wick is about a half an inch long, the length of the wick, the width of the wick. That had been turned turned into a little triangle so that the light wasn't as bright. The chimney for that, in the girls' room, was up under the dresser. So somebody took a lamp in there, took the chimney of it off, laid it on the floor at the foot of that bed for God knows what reason. Same thing upstairs with the Moore's bedroom. It was a lamp. It was an oil lamp, wick turned, triangle, chimney up under the dresser. So that's one thing he saw. He saw the axe laying against the wall in the downstairs bedroom of the Stillinger girls. It was just laid there. Just dropped. Also in there was a 2-pound slab of bacon wrapped in a
cheesecloth?
And it's in a dishcloth, basically what you call it. There was another exact 2-pound slab in the icebox. But why was it in the girl's bedroom? What? She's rolling. Keep put her hand up.
I don't want to interrupt you. Did people really watch hangings in 1912?
Oh yeah.
Okay, okay. I don't know if it was 1912.
Oh yeah.
Also, I think we know why it was wrapped in cheese.
Well, listen, there are people who think that he pleasured himself with the ham, with the bacon, while he was posing the oldest Stillinger girl, who was 11. She was. I'll talk about that in a minute. In the kitchen, there was a big pan of bloody water where the murderer washed his hands. Some say that there was a meal sitting there that he didn't eat. I never saw anything about that. But. So the only person in the home that wasn't laying in a normal fashion was Lena. What? What do you want?
I just want to say that we have the video up for just to show the house, not really a backstory.
Oh, okay. The only person in the house that was not found normally, I'll put it that way, Lena, who was 11, but big for her age, not at all fat, just very tall, very pretty girl. I'm going to show y'all her pictures here in a minute. She had been pulled a third of the way down her bed. Now they're sleeping in a double bed. Her little sister's on the inside near the wall. She's on the outside. Her arm is the one that Marshall Horton saw hanging out from under, or Ross saw hanging out from under the blanket. She had been pulled down. Hey, Tammy, I'm just me. Her underwear had been taken off. Her nightgown was pulled up to her over her waist. Her legs were positioned oddly, and there was like a thumbprint of blood inside of her knee. But there was no trauma of any kind. Some people think, well, maybe she woke up and that's why she's like this. Some people think that maybe she was the throes of death. And some people think that he posed her. I personally think he probably posed her. There was no reason to have a lamp down there for that. But, what you going to do? The only way they could identify the Stilling girls is their dresses that were at the foot of the bed and the names in their Bibles that were on the nightstand. That's the only way to ID them. Their parents couldn't have done it. There wasn't enough left. And actually, the Stillingers were very angry all through the rest of their life that they weren't able to see their children. And so were the Moores. But there's nothing to see, people. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. In like a cool way. Right, Harry, right. So we've got some very odd things. We've got the mirrors covered. We've got pieces of glass covered. We have the wick, it turned in the lamps at the bottom of the beds with the chimneys gone. It's a very odd things. Very odd things. I'm trying to make sure I got everything. There was a little piece of a keychain. I guess those little ball things. I don't remember what. I couldn't figure out what that was. There was a magazine in the closet with a heel print on it. Now they have. If we go back to here, I know I'm going to have to do this again. I think.
What? Look for the thing?
No, I'm not looking for anything. I mean,
what are you doing?
Maybe I am.
It's right where it needs to be.
All right, hold on.
The video?
No. Okay. All right, if you look over here, you have the master bedroom, the closet, the children's bedroom, and over here is the attic. The famous attic. Okay. That attic had been built with the house. The house was only a couple years old when all this happened. There were floors laid in it, so that was all storage, and it is believed that the murderer lay in wait in that attic and waited for the family to come back home. I say that because found in there were 2 smoked cigarette butts. Joe didn't smoke, Sarah didn't smoke. And they 2 were found in there. So it is believed that the murderer went in the house when they left for church that night and waited. That is what is believed. Or is it? I don't know. Anyway. What?
I think so. There is like a culture that covers the mirrors whenever there's a death.
Germans.
Yeah. So maybe like that's why he covered it.
Well, in Germany.
And that's what
Paul Mueller, the German immigrant, is believed to be the man on the train that jumped off, killed people at random and jumped back on.
And that would make sense of why, and Jewish too.
Yeah.
And that's why, I think that's why they were covered. Because I think that's because that's like a...
Hey, Steve Young, babe. Hey, State Disorder, sir.
And I guess you can't really reason with it because it is a murderer. You know?
Yeah.
Also, Wildflower said... Nope. Who said it? Hold on. Give me a second. Give me 2 seconds.
All right.
State Disorder said that they think the lamps were like that so the killer could see but not draw attention.
Exactly. Yeah, they were very dim.
Yeah.
Let me see if I got the right one here. Nope, that's not the one I want.
But yeah, I think 100% that's why.
All right, let's look at let's remind ourselves. Here are the victims. You know, now these have got names. I don't know.
French too.
Yeah, it's Mary Catherine Moore. They called her Catherine over here. So she was 9. There's Herman. They were all very small here in these photographs, but I mean, this is who they, come on now. Come on now. This is, let me see if it does it for me.
Greeks. A lot of people cover mirrors.
Yeah. This is the children's bedroom part of it. That's another. I don't even. You know what? This dude right here, I don't know who he is. They keep throwing his shit in all this where he did. He's a suspect. All right, here's the children's bedrooms. Again, not the original, beds, not the original anything, but pretty close in there. It's a small house. You can look here. It's a very small house. I'm sure everybody's seen a picture of the house, but
it's also on the thumbnail.
Instead of like getting all these pictures ready, I just said I'm just gonna do this because I ain't got time. I just ain't got time.
And there's not a lot you can do.
No, it's not. Let's see. And there's Josiah, and he was called Joe, and Sarah. And that's the 2 oldest. I think that's Herman. And all right, we'll just go through this now. Hold on. All right, this is Reverend Kelly, the one we spoke about that was staying with Reverend Ewing across the street from the church. Reverend Kelly was eccentric, insane, disgusting.
Oh, he was a top-popping peeping Tom.
Yeah, he was a peeping Tom. He got caught many times. Let me just say this too. He was 5'2", Mr. Kelly there. 5'2", and 120 pounds. 5'2". I'm gonna say it one more time. 5'2", and 120 pounds.
He does look creepy.
And we had 8 people, 8 times 20 to 30. Let's say 25. 8 times 25. You're the smart one.
200.
He's gonna swing that axe 200 times. 5'2", 120 pounds. What? Hey.
Maybe 220, by the way.
So this very quickly, the families had to call in detectives. The family had to call in. The city had to call in. The state had to pay detective agencies. So all these detectives started to show up that day, the next day. Oh, let me tell you this. Hold on, we got it. They had to send the state National Guard to stand in front of this house the day of the murders, because at the end of the day, 100 or more people had gone through that house. People from down the road, people from the next town over heard about it. Get on the train. Let's go. I know, right? She's my girl. 100 people. They couldn't. Even the National Guard guys who were sitting there couldn't stop them. 100 people traipsed through the whole crime scene. I don't even know why 2 people would want to go in there and see murdered children, especially murdered the way they were. But 100 people going around looking at it, whatever. But all these detectives started showing up, good ones, bad ones, offer their services. They wanted the state to pay them to investigate this. For a while, the state did flip the bill for it. Nothing ever came for you, did it?
No, someone said, okay, his height did match the marks on the his height. It did not.
Here is what I know exactly who you're talking about. The criminalist that came in that was drunk the first day he got there. Now, there's a lot of different. All right, I'm going to give you like the 3 main suspects in this were Reverend Kelly, a guy named Mansfield, David Mansfield, and F.F. Jones, Senator Jones, that lived in the town. So all these detectives started coming in. A criminalist came in and made some measurements, right? Now, this it'll come in much later because I'm gonna have to fill you in a little bit on the like the 2 to 4 years that were in between these murders and just get to the trials and the grand juries. But a criminalist came and he measured in the children's bedroom. All right, was one of the measurements he could not understand. Because in the parents' bedroom, when they threw that axe back and hit, they were standing where they were supposed to be standing, where it made sense.
Yeah.
In the children's bedroom, where the axe mark was didn't make any sense at all. And he couldn't really figure out why it was even there. Now, mind you, too, all these bedrooms were pitched, right? Like pitched roofs.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
But not where the was. So he did measure it. A criminalist measured it and said, "Oh, okay, I get it now." He wasn't standing beside the child's bed; he was standing at the end of the bed, and that's how it got over there. Where it did, because he'd measured it, but not correctly. He put the murder over here when the murder was really at the end of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And that would make sense. State of disorder is correct. That would make sense. However, there's so much that doesn't. So I told y'all that there were different murders in this area over the next years. I'm gonna give you a list. There's 30 people that were murdered with axes in their homes at night as they slept. So we have September 1911, Colorado Springs, 6 people killed. All right, same way, axes, heads, whatever. September, again, 2011, Mammoth, Illinois, 3 killed. Same way. All these were the same way. All at night, some even on Sunday nights. October 1911, Ellsworth, Kansas, 5 killed. May 1912, Paola, Kansas, 2 killed. June 12th, Villisca, 8 killed. That's what we're doing now. December 1912, Columbia, Missouri, 2 killed. Here's the important one. July 1914, Blue Island, Illinois, 4 killed. That murder was exactly to a T the way the Villisca murders were. To a T. Lamps turned down on the floor, shit over the windows, over the door, over the mirrors. The exact same way. Now, this was an older man, an older woman, their daughter, Miss Mansfield, and her little baby. She lived with her parents. This was Mr. Mansfield's wife. He deserted her and the baby. So he was a suspect in the murder. He was with another woman at the time he passed off as his wife, and that woman was pregnant as well. Problem with Mr. Mansfield is he deserted the Army. He deserted the Navy, I think. He deserted about everything he ever touched. He would work for a week, 2, 3, 4, get fired, not go back, whatever. When there was a detective came in, Detective Wilkerson, Mr. Wilkerson. Mr. Wilkerson showed up in 1914 to do some detecting there in the camp. He quickly put his finger on F.F. Jones, the senator, the business owner, the everything. He was everything. I think he had every office in the world. Are you reading for me?
What? Yeah, I'm reading that. Can I say they wouldn't use a gun because that's way too loud. Everyone's gonna hear that. Yeah, especially in a farmhouse in 1910.
Exactly. State of disorder. This dude was no good, but let me tell you what they tried to indict him. All right. F.F. Jones, when this Wilkerson, the Detective Wilkerson came in,
I read that wrong.
For some reason, he just honed in on F.F. Jones. Supposedly, Joe Moore was having an affair with F.F. Jones' daughter-in-law, Donna. They did talk on the phone. Joe and Donna did talk on the phone a lot, but nobody's ever said. There's also Detective Wilkerson even said that Mr. Jones was having an affair with Donna. That was supposed to be the catalyst of all of it. And then Joe got the John Deere dealership and, went against, in business. There were stories that Mr. Wilkerson dug up out of the dredges of society. One of them, Vena, who used to live in a damn field when these murders took place, and they were camping out near the slaughterhouse on the outside of town, told him a fantastical story about she was going to look for kindling, and she heard 3 men up there on the road having a business meeting and saying that Joe had to be killed first. And where was the money going to come from? It ain't going to come from us. I mean, just this whole long thing. I forgot to tell y'all about I forgot to tell you about the bloodhounds. I'm so sorry. The bloodhounds, they brought in bloodhounds the day of the murder. 2 bloodhounds. Can I just say at the request of Mr. Jones? Just saying. So those dogs went out the door, to the south, to the north, all the way to the river, lost their tracks lost everything at the river. Nothing. They took the dogs across the river to see if they went. No, nothing. Those tracks ended at the river. 2 separate dogs took the same damn route, all around to the river. So it was Mr. Wilkinson's theory that Mr. Mansfield got to the house and took all of his clothes off so that he wouldn't get bloody. All right. Waited for him, killed him because Mr. Jones had paid him to do so. And then I guess just liked it so much he went and killed his in-laws and his wife and baby a year later. Whatever. No, it didn't happen. They tried to indict him. There was nothing there to indict. He had the limited work records that he had. He was accounted for. So then let's go to Mr. Lynn Kelly, Reverend. It is believed, and it was testified to, that Mr. Kelly, who was staying with Reverend Ewing, that he was supposed to catch the 5:15 train out of Villisca. An older couple on the train at 5 something. No, they got onto the next train. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. They had already heard about the murders from that man on the train, the little man on the train. When y'all know for a fact that murder wasn't discovered till 9 o'clock, 8:30 to 9 o'clock. There's no way at 7 o'clock, an hour away, that somebody was able to tell anybody about that murder unless they did it. And Mr. Kelly did that. Mr. Kelly got on the damn train, and from the moment he left Villisca, Iowa, talked incessantly about that murder. Incessantly. He said he was a detective. He said that, and a couple weeks later, he actually got them to take him through the crime scene. He confessed to it about 9 times. He put a white shirt that was blood soaked into a laundromat, like a dry cleaner, whatever. And of course, they couldn't. And they sent the shirt off to be laundered. It was soaked in blood. They couldn't get it out, I don't think, but they sent it back because he kept checking every single day if the shirt was back yet. So
I agree with state of disorder. I think he was just crazy.
Oh, he was just crazy.
Yeah,
oh yeah, no.
I don't think he did it.
Oh, Diet Coke. But Mr. Wilkerson, see, had an agenda, and he had a vendetta to a man that he didn't even know, which was Mr. Jones, Senator Jones. Where and he had. We're going to take out Mansfield. He was not no part of this. He was no part of this. He was an asshole. He was a coward, but he wasn't a murderer. So we're left with Mr. Kelly. Well, that didn't fit Wilkerson's agenda. It didn't fit it. So he had to, in some way, try to convince all these people that F.F. Jones, Mr. Jones, had done it. It was him. He paid to have it done. And he would have these meetings every day, every couple of days, every week, all around. He'd have these meetings, and they would grow and grow and grow. And he would talk about Mr. Jones and how he'd done it. He had the Stillinger girl's father up on the damn stage. He had Mr. Montgomery, who was Sarah Moore's father, up on the stage. He had these people that were, and you, of course, if you're somebody in the crowd and you're seeing their father of 2 dead children and the father of a dead woman, and they are on the side of this fucking Wilkerson dude, you're like, hell yeah, they must be right. So what? People were arrested. Wilkerson got arrested for shit. Then we get this brand new attorney general in there, Havner, who takes over in the 1914. He fucking hates Wilkerson himself. So they go at it. He's arrested. They arrested the attorney general because it was Wilkerson had these things called the dope sheet. That's the notes that he started the day he got to Villisca, Iowa in 1914. He had the Verna Jones idiocy of a statement. He had this other woman. I can't even remember her name. I have to go. Let me look for it.
Don't forget the game.
He had her. Oh shit! No, that's not what I want. What was her name? Hold on. Oh, here's where I wrote another grand jury kill me now. That was after Mansfield. Mansfield sued sued for $5,000 for wrongful prosecution, and he got $2,500 of it. The damn dope won. All I'm saying about that. He had this other old dumb whore, and she was a dumb whore. I'm not saying that to be mean. Who said that the night of the murders, get this now, the night of the murders, remember, there's no moon. Y'all didn't know that. There's no moon. There's no street lights. So these 2 women were out on a date with these 2, loser dudes. And the car breaks down and they have to walk in. And outside of the Moore home, they see F.F. Jones, his son, and other people plotting the murder when they're standing outside of the damn house at 10, 11, 12 at night, whatever time. But the only problem that Mr. Wilkerson had, when they went to indict F.F. Jones, Senator Jones, these people, these women, men, whatever, would show up to testify, and what he'd written in his notes was nothing at all to what they testified to. It wasn't even close. So, oh, Lord.
It's always the butler.
The butler? Oh. So Mr. Havner, the attorney general, said, wait a minute. I want to see these notes. All right. When he finally, Mr. Wilkerson was made to give it to him, it was a shit fest. None of these women, man, I'm going to fucking kill you.
I'm sorry.
Said what these people said they said. It was in the dope sheet, but it won't nowhere else. It won't in the damn, the grand jury. So then Mr. Havner, Attorney General Havner, got arrested because this woman, the woman that said her and her friends were walking up after their, car broke down, and there were all these people in front of the Moore's house just planning the murder out in the street, screaming it. She said he intimidated me and all that, so they arrested him. There was even a law enacted called the Thompson Law. The Thompson Law said that you cannot in any way, shape, or form come in as an investigator or anything else and derail in any way an investigation. You would be thrown in jail. That law was passed in Iowa because of Mr. Wilkerson. Only thing is, Mr. Wilkerson kept effing doing it. He got away around it. He said, I don't have to talk shit about these people. I'm going to get the family of the damn victims to talk the shit. I won't say anything. I'm going to have all of these meetings. I'm going to take money, even though I'm being paid by the state, and I'm going to keep that fucking money for the investigation. And he got the family to talk shit about Mr. or former Senator Jones.
Is that what witness tampering is?
Witness tampering is exactly what that is.
That's what the state of Georgia said.
Yeah, witness tampering. All right, hold on. We're going to get that effing Kelly. So in 1914, Mr. Kelly got into a little brush up with the law. He was absolutely and positively fascinated with children. He didn't like them, but he was sexually quite attracted to them. Well, what he did was he put an ad to paper for a basically a stenographer or whatever, because he's writing a book. In these ads, a girl, whatever, would apply to it and say, I'd love to do this. He would write her a letter then. And this letter would be, are you willing to work really hard? Are you willing to just be with me alone? Are you willing to do this? Are you willing to go nude so that we can take photographs of you? That in 1914 was a no-no. So they said they threw him in jail. South Dakota, I think. He was so batshit crazy. They sent him to the Washington, D.C., to the insane asylum there. He kept groping his cellmates and trying to offer them, or no, he wasn't trying. He was trying to forcefully give them oral sex. While all the time with the murders. I did the murders. I killed those people. So he was released. When he was released, Wilkerson had a problem. Wilkerson had a big problem when Kelly was released because there was Attorney General Havner had detectives, and they knew every step that Mr. Kelly, Reverend Kelly, had made. Everywhere he had been put by the church, every weirdo thing he got arrested for when he was put there, but he was always looking through windows, always trying to get young girls naked. So Wilkerson had a big problem because Kelly didn't fit in his narrative. So what Wilkerson did was, when he found out that they were going to indict Reverend Kelly for the murders, he went and found Reverend Kelly. And when he found him, he moved him around to 3 or 4 different cities so that Havner's, they released him for soliciting over the mail. They released him for that. Even though Liza, he had been, he had absolutely been 100%, 1,000%. He confessed to this thing so many times. But Wilkerson had a real problem, so he had to keep moving. Mr. Kelly and his wife, he had a wife. And then when he realized that they weren't going to give up, he paid for a lawyer for Mr. Kelly. And the Attorney General was not too hot on the trail of Kelly because he needed to build, hey, Band of Memories, he had to build the case. But Wilkerson forced him, because Wilkerson ended up bringing Reverend Kelly to Villisca and turning him in. And they were like, we're not ready. We're not ready for this. We're not ready for this case. Too late. He's there. He got put in jail. Mr. Wilkerson ended up buying him a dream team of lawyers. He had a lot of lawyers, but he kept confessing. So Mr. Havner, who never took any of the confessions, finally went down to where he was in jail and talked to him. Let me see. Hold on. I gotta find his confession. It's ridiculous. The confession is ridiculous. Nope, I'm in the wrong spot. Hold on, let me find. I got a page. I just don't know where it is. Prosecution theories. No. Problems with the case. No. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Did I put August 30th, the confession, and not put the damn page number? All right, I'm going to tell you what he said. Hey, Fiery Phoenix. I'm going to basically tell you what he said. Because I put the date that he confessed and not the page. Basically, what he said is this. He was in the house, in Mr. Reverend Ewing's house. He couldn't sleep. He didn't feel good. So he decided to take a walk. So he came left. He took a walk. He went down the road. He saw a figure on the side of a house, beckoning for him to call. And God told him, slay utterly. Slay utterly. That was what he kept saying. God. And so Reverend Kelly said, okay. So he went down there and he went to where the shadowy figure was going and, trying to beckon for him. And he went and he followed him. And he went up the stairs, went into the Moore home. And all God kept saying was, slay utterly. He got up the stairs and he went into the children's bedroom. And God said, suffer the children, whatever. I don't know the verse. And so he knew that was God telling him to kill those children. And so he did. And God kept saying, kill them utterly, kill them utterly. I mean, slay utterly, slay utterly. And so he killed the parents too. And then he came downstairs and he realized there were 2 children down there and he killed them. He then went back to Reverend Ewing's house. Mind you, he would have to be covered in brain, bone, hair, and tissue, and blood. So much so that his shirt was soaked and he had to send it to the laundry a couple of days before. His wife said when she packed for him to come to this trip, she gave him one outfit to wear because he was only going to stay overnight. He didn't have a change of clothes. He would have had to have worn that shirt. He would have had to have been covered in blood, bone, tissue, and hair. I don't know how you can get there, but he would hear people. First, he said he heard thud, thud, thuds. His first story was, I was in town that night, and I took a walk, and I kept hearing thud, 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 and that was the murderer. Then he changed it to God told him slay utterly. Then he was crazed, but then he came back because he heard people outside. So he was quiet till they went. I guess God said, shut up, somebody's outside. I don't know.
State of disorder says that I think he was schizophrenic.
Oh, yeah.
He definitely was. Definitely.
So we had, with all these confessions, Wilkerson had a real problem. And that's why he paid for all of his lawyers. They went through one trial, the first trial, where they read the confession. Okay, listen to me, people. In the first trial, they read his damn confession. And it was a hung jury. It was 11 to exonerate and one guilty, guilty by way of insanity. That man would not, after 40 hours, that one guy would not vote for, no, he wouldn't do it. And so that was a hung jury. So they had to do it again. They do this again. All right. So in the second one, they decided to try to show that he could have done it physically, because the defense was like, he couldn't have done it. Look at him. He's a dork. And that's when they had the criminalists come in and say, when he measured one way, this way, it would have made sense. But if he measured it from this side of the bed, it wouldn't make sense. So you can take that as whatever. Now in this photo, did you get it back up to where he's standing under the bed?
No.
All right. Well,
I got it to where he's about to shut steps.
Okay. Well, I'm going to show this, but I want y'all to see this kid that goes into this room is 5'8". I looked it up.
5'9", I think.
Oh, he's 5'9".
Got it at the front door. Inch.
Now he is standing in that bedroom, the parents' bedroom. All right, and you can see him. I'm going to show you in a second. He's standing in the bedroom, 5'9". The divot taken out of the wall, way up here. Now I understand that axes are long. And I can understand you could choke up on one, or you can go all the way here. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to show you why it was pretty much damn near impossible. One, for him to do it, Mr. Kelly, because one, he was 5'2", 120 pounds. He was a weakling. And I'm not saying that to be mean. He was. To wield that axe 80 times? No. Not to mention, they are pretty damn sure that somebody laid in wait in that attic. There were cigarette butts there, and none of them smoked.
Do you want me to find it for you?
Please.
Which one? When you're standing or the steps? When he's standing?
Standing. So we know somebody was in that attic. They were smoking. They were waiting. I want to say there was more than cigarette butts there, but I could be wrong. And I'm not seeing any of chat, by the way, and I'm sorry right now. So Kelly could not have laid in wait for them. He was up at Mr. Ewing's at the Reverend Ewing's house. He couldn't have laid in wait in that attic. He had no time to get there. So screen sharing, and that's going to show you. No. Yeah.
Keep going.
Make sure. All right. So again, that's a no. No, Kelly couldn't have been waiting there because number two, part of the prosecution's point was, listen, he's so small, and so light that he could have come up those steps, and not made a sound or a big sound enough to wake him.
Also,
well, that's true. However, anybody coming up those steps, especially if you're a parent and you have kids, you're going to hear. You're going to hear it. It's not going to be right. Something's not going to be right. So it would make more sense that somebody was waiting. Even though coming out of that attic would have made more, a little bit of noise, not like coming up creaky ass steps. So with Mr. Moore and his family and the two Stillinger girls, the killer used the axe that was there. He didn't bring the weapon. He used the axe that belonged to Mr. Moore. And these other 30 murders, same damn thing. The guy didn't bring an axe. It was already there. So, we're going to get this for you. I just want you to see it because visually, it is, all right, if we go through okay. Oh. All right, you can't see it. All right, okay, there we go.
He's 5'9", and that is pretty high up.
Yeah, he's 5'9". Here's the divot right here, way over here.
They can't see it. Yeah, they can't.
They can see it, yeah. There it is. 5'9" up here. 5'9", what we make it? 5'2" right here, maybe? I don't know. Probably 5'2". Shorter arms, but he would have been obviously back more. I don't know. I don't tell you, I don't know. But there it is. And this is 5'9".
He done. Come on.
I'm done. I'm done. So that's what I have to. I don't know. I wish I knew. This is never going to be solved. It was never going to be solved. because the person that did it, in my opinion, had no ties to this town whatsoever, no ties to the town, and nobody in it. Anyway, so obviously they had one mistrial. The second trial of Reverend Kelly, they did not read the confession, and he got off of it. People actually waited, and deputies had to be called to the first trial because so many people were trying to shake his hand while he was sitting there in the defendant's seat. They had to hire 2 more deputies to keep people away from him. Him and his wife decided after the second trial to stay in Villisca for a couple of days. There was a steady stream of well-wishers that came by and wished him well. So even they didn't believe it. Please look up the book. I'm gonna have, you know what, Voodoo? I am leaving Villisca for the next little bit. I have been in Villisca, and when I say I've been there, you understand. I mean, reading it. When you're reading something, you're there. I've been in Villisca for 100 years. I'm sick of everybody in the town, but I do want to meet a man on the train and see, and have a not a wrap up, but an update show after I read A Man from Train. Even the Marshall and Jackson agreed.
They interviewed the author.
Oh,
yeah, that was that woman with the
yeah. It was a good book. It was a lot of just regional information that would not really have meant anything to me.
Do you still want Carrie?
Oh, Carrie, yeah. Do you want me to hold on? But like I said, it was never gonna anybody can come up that wants to come up. Yeah, like I said, because nobody had any ties to that town or anybody in it. If you've
Hi.
Hey baby.
All right. Okay. Whew. I know there's a lot murders in Iowa. It's crazy. But this one, they say the axe murder hid in the closet.
Yeah, that's what sleeping. Yeah. That is exactly what they say, and they're probably right. Because nobody came up those steps. You live in Iowa, Lou? Oh, please be careful.
Go Hawkeyes! We're gonna go see Dallas Cowboys next month. Woo-hoo.
I know you told me that. That's amazing.
Yeah. But anyway,
why there's so many murders in Iowa? I don't know.
The one that I told you about, the 205 murders about Sean Bettler. Look it up.
I will. You know me and murders. I love them.
It's a long story. But
this is all. Let me show you on the file. Hold on. Go ahead, Carrie.
Try to stay in topic, but this one, the girl that I work with took a tour of the house because she has a farm that is by there, and she said she got an eerie feeling.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, if one day I might just go visit Villisca, Iowa. Say, hey, bitches, have y'all heard about me? Because I've heard about you.
Did she go to the house?
Oh no, I'm showing everybody my files. I don't have more files.
I never went to the house.
Oh well,
I kind of want to. I don't know.
I would love to.
I know.
What I was struck with in this in the video, the Sam and Colby, that whole area now is like a
neighborhood.
It's a neighborhood. There's newer homes across the street. It's a regular block by block neighborhood. Nothing. That's why I wanted to see what it looked like before. But then we looked and I could see a building when I watched that Sam and Colby Villisca axe murder thing. I could see a building behind the house, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's probably a museum." No, that's the barn. That was their barn. I get it now. But I would love to go there. I don't think I'd want to spend the night in it like people do. Hell no, I ain't stupid. I'm done.
What was I gonna say? There's videos about people doing ghost hunts in that house.
Oh, there's plenty. Yeah, there's a lot of people that did, and that thing is like terribly haunted. And
yeah,
that. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember when I did the Amityville Horror.
yes,
The murder. I did the murder, not the haunting. And
yeah.
behind every good haunting is a truly horrible story like that and like this. Just horrible. Just
I know. And then you know what's creepy? You know the story about Sylvia Likens, don't you?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Really?
No.
Look up American Crime. It's on Prime Video.
American
that house
Crime.
looks exactly like that.
Oh yeah?
Yes, it's a true story. Wow, I'm surprised you don't know about that one.
Huh. I don't get around much, Carrie.
I like crime videos.
I do too, though.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat said that poor girl went through hell. She did.
Now listen, our next murder mystery, Maura Murray. Maura Murray. I'm writing her in there. It doesn't matter if I write in there because y'all can't see it. Hey, P's been there the whole time. P's been hiding. Maura Murray. There we go.
Maura Moon. No,
yeah, Maura Murray. It's supposedly. I remember it.
You didn't get that.
No, what? In like a cool way. Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Harry Styles. An overnight with Lies, I could do it. I'm shit. You see Shannon 681 poop herself. Yeah, Maura Murray. There's a lot on that, and I only know this much of it right now.
Shannon, I'm gonna jump down a little, okay?
All right, my love.
Love you. Bye.
Love you, babe.
Woo.
Listen, it came. Woo. It was Gerard Schaefer's. I don't know what that means. Am I supposed to know what that means? Is that Maura Murray? Is that Maura Murray?
What?
I don't know.
What?
Oh, pack a lunch. Lotus, that's what everybody said. It's the last thing I need in life is more of this. I do not need this in my life. I'm going back to freaking movie trivia.
I missed that.
I do too. I'm going back to movie trivia. I'm burnt out.
I think that should be.
That's where he dumped the. I love a good story about a body dump, and I know I shouldn't. Don't get me wrong.
God.
I know. It's not. I mean, you can either be scared of murder, or I love a good mystery. Oh, you love trivia, Voodoo? Listen, I got trivias. I got what is that one? I got one about movies because I'm a movie buff. So
you done The Walking Dead.
I did The Walking Dead one.
You've just done a bunch of generational ones.
Then I've got like Boomer
generational
things.
Boomer,
so
Gen X, Millennial.
Oh, Laura Lee, thank you.
Why?
I get a little like involved in it. I get enveloped in it, and I can't I seriously have been looking to get out of Villisca for a couple of weeks now. And I was dead in the middle of town. I couldn't get out. I told y'all the book kept getting longer and longer and longer. Because it would make me so angry what this guy did, what this idiot did. We never know what happened to Kelly either. He supposedly might have gone back to England. He was from England. He might have gone back there in the late 20s, but nobody knows how he died, when he died. Nobody knows. Everybody else kind of. I think that Wilkerson, who was fired as a detective in the Burns agency way into this case, he ended up buying a petrified mummy thing or petrified body that was actually John Wilkes Booth. And he took it to different carnivals and stuff. And I thought, that's right where you belong. You belonged in a carnival. And that's where you lived your life, the rest of your life, with the damn shriveled up carcass of God knows who. Well, I will absolutely, I will do the trivia. That is not a problem on this earth. I can schedule that shit for next Sunday.
I'm busy.
What are you busy doing? What are you busy doing? Nothing.
I have a life.
I'll ground you and you won't be busy. We'll set up the damn trivia. Gotta find out where the race is next week. Go find out, Catherine. Where the race is next week. I'm just kidding.
Arby's murder.
The Arby's murder in 78 in Alexandria, Virginia. Alexandria, Virginia. Well, we could do it. I like to do those early in the day, like 1 or 2. But I understand people live in different spots, and that's a great time or a bad time for them. Let's schedule it. Y'all want to schedule trivia for 2:00 Saturday afternoon? Here, hey Sarah, it's okay, babe. It's okay. Here's the way we do trivia, just to let you know. Because if you have your own device, right, and you punch in, you move your eyes because you're right where the camera is, and it looks like I'm looking at you. When you put in your answer and hit it, it's always going to look like you are first or you are second or whatever. Here's the way me and Catherine do it, and she will be doing it with me. We'll use my computer's right here. We'll use my computer, my phone. We have a tablet upstairs. That's 3 devices that are not my computer. We don't use this. We use my phone, the tablet, and your phone.
Yeah.
So we use 3 different devices that aren't my computer. And it's always going to look like you did it. You were first all the time. But like I said, we do it the fair way. So that everybody can, be right. And it's worked pretty well for us. So I appreciate you all coming. These are growing every time I do them, even if it's just by a couple of people. I'll take it any day. I will take it every time. To all of you that sat back and listened, thank you for giving me an hour and a half of your time. All my friends here, thank you. State of Disorder, I'm going to get you back up on the thing. I don't know why you're not up here now. They've been putting the damn thing out. I love you, Sarah. 2:00 next Sunday. Hold on. 2:00 next Sunday will be
next Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunday. 2:00 trivia, and I'm gonna use that generational one. I'm just gonna mix them up.
Do you know where it is?
Sure. Oh, it's on the. Sure, I know where it is. I know exactly where it is. Are you kidding me? I know exactly where it is. Ed Epperly. Isn't he when he was a serial killer, right?
No.
No, what?
Yeah, never mind it. I was thinking of Stephen Epperly.
Yeah, we know who he is. Ed Epperly, right? You have a good week, Rachel. Really, just thank you all for showing up. I know this was kind of slapped together, even though I've been doing research for 100 years. And there's no way I could cover all of it for you. It's so much I can just gloss over it. But the next one is Maura Murray, and I'll give a date when that'll be. And be safe, everyone. And I love you, and I love you so much. And I will see you this week because I'm going to do a Big Brother. Might do it tonight. We're going to do a Big Brother.
What if we do a Big Brother?
Somebody dropped something upstairs.
What if we do a Big Brother trivia?
Oh. I would lose, so I don't care. I love you all. I'll see you very soon. Thank you very, very, very much for coming. There. Oh, now I should have done all this first. Bye, guys. I love you. Thank you again.